Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Book Review Blog. I am your book reviewer, and today we're going to review the book Perfect by Ellen Hopkins. If you're familiar with the other books by Ellen Hopkins that I reviewed, this is a book of prose or a novel, but it's written in poetic form, which I always thought was really cool. It's one of those books by Ellen Hopkins that takes it's done in four parts, or there's four main characters telling a story. And I don't know if you're familiar with books like hers that do that. There are a few. Anyway, the main characters are all teenagers. They all live in Nevada, and the first one that I'm going to introduce is a girl named Kara Sykes, and she's like 16 years old. She has I believe a twin brother named Connor, and at the beginning of the book, her brother Connor has attempted suicide, and so both Kara and Connor live with their parents, a very nuclear family, and their family is shocked by this, and Connor is at a rehabilitation center or kind of a outreach center in somewhere in Nevada, and to get better, and so throughout the book, Kara is kind of reeling with that and with the effects of that from her schoolmates, because these things get out. All of her school friends and her classmates find out about it, and they view her as the sister of the boy who attempted suicide, type of thing. And Kara just wants to maintain a good life, and even kind of a perfect life of just being a typical girl, making the honor roll, making perfect grades. She's one of the head cheerleaders, and just kind of living her life, but trying to be as perfect as she can. And her best friend is another character that has her own side in the story, and her name is Kendra Matheson. And one of the things about Kendra is that she, I guess she was Connor's girlfriend. They had, they had hooked up a little bit, but before Connor's accident. And so she's also reeling from Connor's attempted suicide, but she's doing it in kind of a different way. And what's interesting about Kendra is that when I had heard about that this book was going to be about teenagers wanting perfection and thinking of just being the perfect teenager, that was one of the things that Kendra's story was one of the things that I was thinking of. She wants to be a model, and that is what's driving her to perfection. She competes in pageants, and she's really works out and really tries to keep a perfect figure. Even though she claims she's not, she doesn't have an eating disorder, you can really tell that she does, because she counts calories, and she skips meals, and she really works out 2-3 hours a day, along with being a cheerleader like Kara. She's also on the treadmill and on the elliptical and running and things like that. And so that's her part of perfection, is wanting to be perfect model, and she's wanting to get plastic surgery. She wants to have a nose job, she wants to have a breast augmentation surgery and all that. So that's Kendra. And then there's the next character is a boy. His name is Sean O'Connell, and Sean and Kara kind of are, again, boyfriend, girlfriend. Kendra was with Connor, and Sean is wanting to get with Kara. And they're kind of on again, off again, kind of like a typical teenager type relationship. Um, Sean's perfection is sports. He is really big on baseball and really wants to be a good baseball player, and he wants to impress scouts where he can get into college on a baseball scholarship. And the way that he does this is working out, but he also takes steroids. And so you really see the effects of using steroids on, not only like muscle growth, and not only this, but then also like hormones and rage and things like that. So you see ups and downs with Sean, and it really partakes with his and Kara's relationship. The last character that I'm going to introduce, that has a part in this, is his name is Andre Kane, and his perfection was um, kind of strange or kind of different than the others. His was more, perfection was put on him. His parents are very wealthy in town, and they have wonderful jobs. Like, his mother is a plastic surgeon who is going to work with Kendra, so that's how they're kind of intertwined. And um and so, like, his father and his mother want him to go into college to be like a doctor or a lawyer, common, like, really big jobs like that. But Andre's passion is dance, and he wants to be a dancer, where he takes classes secretly, and he eventually competes in show, or like, dance competitions and things like that. And but he's like, my parents will never go with this. Again, they want to have like a doctor or a lawyer son. They don't want to have a dancer son, type of thing. And so that's kind of the premise of the book, is just kind of going through day by day things. And I mean, like, important things happen in the books where, again, you kind of work with, you see like Kendra's decline into this eating disorder and this strive for perfection, where it just kind of goes downhill. And she doesn't have her parents are divorced. Her mother is married to her stepfather, and her father is not married, but he's dating somebody. And she has a younger sister, and they don't have a good relationship with their father, and things like that. And then Sean doesn't live with his parents. He lives with his uncle, and their relationship is fine, but again, you really see the effects of him using the steroids on his relationship with Kara. There is a scene where they're together, and they start to have sex, and he's like, oh, good, this is going great, this is great. And then all of a sudden she says to stop. And I mean, before she was like, yay, this is what I want, this is going good, this is going good. But because of, the moment and the hormones and things, he doesn't stop. And so there's a whole thing of, was this rape or was this consensual, stuff like that. And Andre becomes involved with Kendra's sister. I believe her name is Jenna. And Jenna is just kind of a whirlwind, where you can tell that she's very affected by what's going on around her, that, her parents are divorced and all that's going on with them. And unfortunately, because of Kendra's modeling career, her mother is doting more on Kendra, and Jenna doesn't see or feel that she's treated equally. And so, she just kind of takes a turn for the worse with Andre, just going on wild wild parties and wild things where they're drinking and she's doing drugs and she's, you know, like not hooking up necessarily, but like flirting with a bunch of guys, and which gets her in trouble later on, which I won't tell you about. But I liked it and I didn't like it. There were stuff that I liked and stuff that I didn't like. So, but I'm glad I read it because again, I enjoy reading Ellen Hopkins. So, the next book that I'm going to read is called Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is another one that's really been, not in the news, but really been really popular, and it's a newer book. So that's it. I bid you all a farewell and happy reading.